Welcome, Tiny Hands, Big Dreams. We're going to talk about our LEM Big Bite grinder, what we think about it, some of our other grinders we've had, experiences, and let you know what we really think of this piece of equipment. Now, let me start off with our experience. Like, we decided to do this because we just processed 2 pigs, which we do all of our own processing here. You should check out some of our videos if you're not familiar, but we're a homestead. We try to do everything ourselves. So this is really fresh in our minds. We've used it again, which, you know, is every so often. Previously, we have used, what was it like? What was the model number of the original old one?
Oh gosh, I don't remember. We got it for free from a family friend.
Like Enterprise? Or...
I think it might have been Enterprise. I don't even know if that's...
So a hand grinder your great-grandmother might have inherited.
Kind of clamp onto a table.
And you grind. Anyway, it was a good grinder. We used it for a long time. We processed all of the animals through. And
it was a chore. It involved both of us. It was a lot of time. It was a lot of physical effort. Everything had to be cut down to like 1/2-inch cubes and slightly frozen to really make it through the grinder. It was a lot of work.
But
very grateful to have it. But at some point we realized, okay, well let's try something else.
Let's try something else.
So we ended up getting a Hamilton Beach little electric grinder.
Something from the 80s or 90s.
It was probably off Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace or something.
It was.
Did it technically work? Yes. The kid could do it on his own. So there, it was a little bit better. It didn't take everybody's effort. Wasn't as physically demanding. It wasn't great.
It was loud.
It was so loud.
I don't even know the horrible sound that it used to make. It was just this terrible like grinding, screeching noise.
It was bad.
But it worked.
It worked. Okay.
We sat the kid down and we're like, take this entire giant pile of meat and put it through the grinder.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And it worked. It was slow. It wasn't great. Okay. And then when we decided to, really pack up and move to Ecuador, we have lots of videos about what you should bring, could bring. So check those out if you're thinking about it. But we decided we needed a proper electric meat grinder.
Yep.
That was going to really serve us for a long time. So we settled on, what is this, number 12? Number 12.
This is the LEM number 12.
Big Bite.
Big Bite.
Yep.
It's good company. They do good stuff. There's a lot of things we liked about it. It has good internals. It has a strong motor. It had enough size and capacity to do what we needed.
Without being outrageously huge.
Because
there's just...
The next one up is you're into straight commercial.
I want something I can move around. It can sit on a table. It can sit on a counter. It's not that commercial size.
Yeah. And then some other things we looked at was the strength of the internals. Stainless. I like stainless. Mm-hmm. Stainless is forever. But what the Big Bite really has going for it, and I'm going to try to get a close-up, the rifling inside this part, and you can buy the cheap Chinese grinders that look just like this. They don't do as good of a job on this internal casting. And I really think this is kind of critical. Because between that and the profile of the auger, it grabs and it just... The other grinders, like you're pushing and it sort of churns and you kind of push and it goes in. All of that extra action that is not moving through is making the meat warm. You don't want.
It becomes sort of meat paste instead of a nicely cut ground meat. Now, I'm the one who uses this almost exclusively, just because I'm the one who processes the animals.
So it's no longer work.
It's no longer, it doesn't involve both of us, which is great, because it means you
when it was the hand grinder, it's like, hey, big strong man, come here. Yeah, I remember that.
We had a lot of long nights doing that. So I just used this, and I was thinking about, I don't even use the plunger piece anymore, because it's one more thing to wash. So I end up just sort of, I pile this full of meat, and I just sort of feed it in, and it just sucks the meat down and shoots it out.
You get it anywhere close.
And it literally will shoot meat out. That's probably the only flaw in that, is it will actually It will shoot it a
Yeah,
little farther than you want.
yeah, it'll compress a little air pocket and then kapow, kapow. Like, it's awesome.
It's great.
But that's the big
So
problem
fast.
that the other ones have. As far as the rest of it, the knives and the plates, and we got different. We ordered a few different plates with it, different sizes, and a few different knives. Really high quality stuff.
Yep. It's fantastic. The only problem I really have with it is kind of the same with every meat grinder. I don't think it's specific to this one. Is just how incredibly difficult this piece is to wash. The rest is pretty easy. I hate washing this, but I don't think that that's unique to the Big Bite.
No,
I think it's just the design. It's just how the meat grinders are. I have tried pretty much
smaller
everything.
meat grinders are actually worse.
They're much. The Hamilton Beach one was nearly impossible.
You can't get down inside there. Now, the other thing that they did is deep inside here there is a bushing that the auger pushes against. And I remember reading on their site, this is no longer removable. It used to be that bushing would pop out and you could clean. They made that bushing snap in because people were losing them and calling customer service, and they'd have to get them a replacement.
Which is totally fair.
It's fair. So
I would probably lose it.
So they designed it to not come out. Really, it's not come out easily. Like you have to really pop it out. It's not a normal cleaning item kind of anymore, which makes cleaning around the little sharp edges. I would rather be able to take it out.
So the cleaning is not ideal.
Could I go in and gently like knock down the edges of that bushing to modify it so it comes in and out easily? Yeah, but we're trying to give you a review of the way it sits.
Yeah.
So only small gripe. Now, we also bought the LEM hand grinder. That is, they have the only one I've seen that's full stainless.
Well, and that was the problem with the antique one that we had, is that it was not.
It was tinned.
Yes.
Whatever tinned is, and there's discussion on what is that coating, and some of it was coming off. But it's cast iron with tinning.
So that was when we bought this. We wanted a replacement hand grinder. We try to make sure that we have a manual option for the machines that we rely on, just in case.
In case of calamity, total power loss, things.
All kinds of things.
Who knows? We want to be able to do everything manually. That's part of our future.
So we thought, okay, we'll get a little hand grinder.
Like I said, LEM has the only one that's all stainless, and stainless is forever. So I'm like, oh, that's great. We tried it.
It's terrible.
It's worse than our old original one.
Worse.
You grind and you grind, and meat just churns in there, and it just sits there.
Mushes.
And then you try to semi-freeze it and semi-this, which, if you're using it in an emergency when there's no power, the little trick of semi-freezing the meat,
it doesn't happen.
it doesn't, well, unless it's winter. Yeah. So, no. Well, I don't know that we're ever going to take it out of the box again.
Nope, that was a waste.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I would be better off tearing the motor out of this and putting a handle on the dumb thing.
I would just chop the meat at that point. Like realistically, like if there was a large world calamity and there was no more power, I don't think I'd worry about the grinding of the meat at that point.
Yeah. So
that's what that is. We would not recommend the hand grinder.
We did used to use the hand grinder for stuffing sausages, which it does really well because as you put the casing, we just put a sausage tube right on the end of it. You just set it right inside the ring.
Now you can do that with this.
You can do it with that, but on the hand grinder, go. Oh, stop. Okay, go. Okay, go. Okay, stop. Okay, okay. And then you can fill sausages.
Slow. You can be. This is far too powerful for that. I don't want to try it.
Sausage would end up out the window, down the hill, thing, something. No.
So we do have a separate sausage stuffer.
And we'll get to that.
Is a different conversation.
A different video.
I don't know if I'd recommend ever trying to stuff sausage with this guy. It's a little too powerful.
I think they make, or is available in the market, a foot switch. So you plug this into a foot switch and you turn it on, and then you can like...
And honestly, if I was using this really any more than I do, I would want that. I find the button is really awkward. The way they did it, they put a little plastic cover to keep it clean, which makes sense. I can't for the life of me get it right. You can't feel the button. Your hand's meaty. It's kind of awkward.
It's just sort of smooth, and you're like,
yeah, you can't feel where you are on the button. Yeah.
You just have to sort of remember.
It's a very small thing.
But that being said,
the foot switch would be pretty fancy.
And even that, turning this off and on is like driving a Corvette using an off and on switch. I'll go, I'll stop. I'll go, I'll stop.
It would be nice sometimes to
Sewing
have
machines
yes.
have like a throttle.
That's true. Yep. But honestly, it's fantastic. I mean, you know, if it comes down to would we recommend it?
Oh heck yeah!
I recommend it to absolutely everyone.
We would buy it again, even if we had to work minimum wage to earn the money to buy this one again.
It is absolutely worth it. I think it's the absolute right size for a homestead.
But watching this thing work, and you'll get grinders, and they sell them where we are here in Ecuador that look just like this, just like that. But the design of the auger in this is just not the same. And we watch it, and it'll just sit there, and the meat just sort of sits there and slowly smooches and mushes, and it comes out hot. And that's what the butchers use. Looks the same on the outside.
So this not only produces a better quality of meat, but as the person who does it, it's so fast. It is the least time-consuming part of the entire process.
Yep.
It takes longer to clean it than it does to grind the meat. So what did I put through it? 80 pounds. 80 pounds of meat. And it took 10 minutes tops. Tops.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And it does a really nice job of whatever size.
Oh, I just put giant chunks. Basically, if it fits through this, it goes in.
Did they say it's rated for bones? Which?
It probably would be. I'm not interested in doing that. But yeah, I mean, basically, it'll take anything. It doesn't get bound up with like silver skin or anything that.
Oh no, the other one's real bad. They
so
would get
bad.
caught between the plates, and it would get stuck.
Nope, I've never had to take it apart and clean it in between. You know,
just
doing
churns.
a batch. Yep. So we would absolutely recommend it. I think it's awesome.
I think it's awesome.
Yep. So you know, we're gonna be doing some more reviews here because there's so many pieces of equipment we use that are super important.
We spent a lot of time and research into every little thing we brought. We came here to do this adventure, and it was basically, this is the last thing we're going to own for the rest of our lives. We're going to go disappear under the edge of the Amazon and start over fresh. So we're taking with us.
So we've put in an incredible amount of thought and research into these pieces. So we're going to share those with you so that you maybe don't have to do the extensive research or the mistakes, because there's a few things that maybe we would have done.
There's a few things we wouldn't have done.
Like the hand grinder. It's not worth it. So we're going to be doing some more reviews on some of these homestead pieces.
If you want to see those, subscribe and be notified so that when we do more, you get to see them.
Yep.
All right. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it.